Just 2 rounds remain in the chase for the BRB Sundance Pro Series championship for Season 6, and both races to cap off this season are at incredible driver tracks, Atlanta and California. Can Adam Buzzio or Johnny Wood Jr. come from behind, or is this Dustin Stallings' championship to lose? That is what we're about to begin to find out. Welcome to Pitstop TV and the virtual Hampton, Georgia. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Murtis back alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Tonight we are at the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, or now Echo Park Speedway, for the Simrap Market 250, and coverage is brought to you by Sundance Pizza, MX Wraps, and by the BRB Racing League. And Zach, to keep this quick and short on the racetrack, it's virtual Legacy Atlanta. It's going to be fun.
Oh, baby. One does have to love Atlanta Motor Speedway, whether it is the old version before the repave or the newer version as the Super Speedway. And this is coming as someone who just lied through his teeth because he said he hated the track before we even went live. But I'm kidding. This track is awesome. It's got some great characteristics even after it was repaved. And even now, when we come back to the version before it was uprooted and given a refresh, it still holds some added nostalgia and some really great racing.
And of course, as always, in this MXWraps.com pre-race show, we're going to have a couple of drivers that we'll be talking to here in this broadcast. If Discord wants to cooperate with me, I know we're still going out on the OBS broadcast side, but waiting on Discord to catch back up to me. Doesn't seem to like BRB anymore. There goes the track map. Stick with it. I promise, she'll catch up. There we go. Maybe? It's just doing this on Tuesdays. I think we're back. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring in Johnny Wood Jr. Having technical issues, but I mean, it could be just the storms in North Carolina. Speaking of, Johnny Wood, you just got home from driving through some of the storms from that Cannonballers game. We bring you in here tonight because you've got a chance to potentially run down Adam Buzzio and Dustin Stallings for this championship lead. Do you think you can make up the ground you need tonight to make it happen?
Yeah, we're going to try. Stages will be very important here. I think me and Adam's 16 points back from the leader, so see if we can't reel them in. Take what you can, you know. Yeah, there are storms over here. Hopefully the internet stays intact.
And Zach?
Yeah, internet is one thing that we're all struggling with here in North Carolina. But one thing that you're not struggling with is your position in the points. So you are currently situated in a very, very good spot. You have only got 16 points back to Dustin Stallings after last week's race at Talladega. What's the game plan going tonight? How do you step it up and put yourself in a position to either close that gap or take over the points lead?
Yeah, I think tonight might be more about patience than anything, saving tires and trying to get a good qualifying run and staying out front. This track's a pretty big tire saving game. Hopefully, with it being at the end of the at the season, some people might kind of give a little bit of room to some of those kind of like running for the championship. That's kind of how previous years have went. I'm not gonna kind of count on it, but you can kind of read the room sometimes, and that's kind of how they go. So track position in qualifying will really be key here, and then like I said, saving tire, putting yourself in a position where you don't have to pass so many people in the beginning. That way you can keep as much tire under it when you can, and then having it when you need it.
And Johnny, we briefly met on Saturday out at Paradise Raceway in Sether, South Carolina. That was unexpected and definitely rushed, but I gotta ask, how was your time in the kart race scene this past weekend?
Yeah, it was fun. We got a brand new kart, so off the showroom floor, we put it together, and we were struggling with the setup, and we got numbers from the guy that builds them. Lo and behold, it turned into a rocket ship that we didn't believe it would. and then we struggled with stagger. You know, when you get tires the day of a race, you got to build stagger in the tire, or put the stagger that you want in the tire. When it's so quick, when you got to cut and sand them, and then put air in it and then stagger it, you kind of don't get the amount of stagger that you need as quickly as you need it. Getting them so early, especially somewhere like Paradise, you need like 1.25 inches, and we were struggling to get 1 inch in the rear, which was causing us to kind of push center off. So we ran good, but not good enough. We know what we need for next time. We learned a lot, so I think I ended up coming home 9th in the second race that we went out on.
Well, hopefully we get a chance to cross paths at one of these kart races again with a little more planning behind it. I had some fun over in Turn 1. Crazy finish that night for Chase Williamson. We'll be talking to him at Oxford for Sarah in a couple of weeks. But Johnny, good to talk to you. And hey, hopefully we're watching the 75 Power On to a championship. Some really stiff competition. We'll be talking to Dustin here in just a moment.
Yeah, we'll be at Kart Week this year, so if you're down there, I've seen your camera work on pit row, so appreciate TV time.
Absolutely. Johnny, good to talk to you. We'll be, I'm sure, seeing you at a kart race soon. And that is Johnny Wood Jr., third place in the standings coming into tonight. We'll take a look at the standings here shortly. I want to quickly, though, get to our other driver for pre-race. And Dustin, I know we're putting you on crunch time here right at the buzzer, but this is start 100 for you. I see we got the gold on the car. How cool is this to now be at 100 starts once you take the green flag tonight in this league? That's a lot of races.
Yeah, I honestly didn't realize that tonight would have been my 100th start. I kind of hit Brendan with a late change to my scheme for tonight just because of it. But it's crazy. I feel like I hadn't really been with BRB that long as far as like real time, but I mean 6 seasons in a few years. I mean, it's kind of went by pretty quick.
With a championship in there too, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. And chasing another one tonight. Obviously, kind of like I asked Johnny, things are shaping up in the points. They have closed a bit after Talladega, with you not scoring some stage points. What's the game plan tonight to make it happen, re-extend that points lead, and keep these other guys at bay?
It's kind of hard to really say because I know with the practice race, even it was like a couple of us, but it kind of seemed like it was a little tough for somebody to kind of just stretch a gap out in front of the pack in a sense. I guess just because of the draft and how these cars are with the aero, I mean, you basically stay right behind the guys that's in front of you. It's going to be interesting with a bigger field, but it's fast, so kind of making moves and calculated moves, but just with how this legacy layout of Atlanta before the repave is, I mean, you're probably going to see some sliders being made or attempted. But yes, honestly, I know I got to kind of somewhat focus on Adam and Johnny. I think they're the closest to me in the points, but I think the main focus is going to be just racing the racetrack because it just eats tires here. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, Dustin, I know you got to hit the racetrack real quick to go defend your most poles in BRB history at 20. But as you get ready to hit the racetrack here, I got to ask, I told you earlier we would put you on the spot to pick a driver to win. Who have you got?
I hadn't really had a chance to see a good number of these guys run, but I know Adam was pretty quick last night, so I'm going to say Adam.
Picking the competition, I like it. Dustin, we'll get you back up to your teammates. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
So Dustin Stallings picking driver 5, who won last week at Talladega. Boy, that could be a big deal if that does happen. We'll get back to our picks here shortly, Zach, as qualifying looks to wrap up here in this session. Brendan Maddox, fastest so far. I just mentioned Dustin Stallings, the all-time poles leader in this league. That is of all drivers that have ever run in BRB, 20 to his name. Tonight could put him at 21. He's also looking for win number 12, if he can get it done here this evening. As here is his qualifying lap. Zach, we'll at least watch the first lap and then look around the field a little bit at some other paint schemes. There are a bunch of good ones, and Dustin grabs the wall there in turns 3 and 4, but that's okay. We'll set up for a good lap number 2. Here is Kevin Baumler, Jordan White on the racetrack, Dakota Bly. I'm going to come back to this car for best in show, I can tell you that. Also got another one picked out, and then, I mean, there are great ones all throughout the field. But before we go too far in the program, Zach, let's circle back around to those point standings that we'll be talking about pretty much all night long. Here they are coming into the evening, and you see there Dustin Stallings on top, Adam Buzzio, Johnny Wood Jr., Richard Wolsifer, Ronnie Norman, your top 5. That's the core of the guys we're talking about for the championship, and really, barring a big issue for the top 3 and a big performance out of 4th or 5th, it's really just your top 3.
Just about. It would take a miracle for a lot of these guys to even remotely have some sort of chance to get this championship. Zach Maddox is definitely out of the running. Stephen Borbell's out of the running. There's just not enough drivers and not enough points available tonight. There's only about 18 drivers in the field as we start to shape up and ship out.
21.
Are you counting my oopsie?
No, but 21. Counting Cole Lewis, Dakota Bly, and Kevin Baumler, who have not set a time just yet. But that is a picture of the standings coming into tonight. Also, a quick hello to my living room where there's currently a blanket fort set up. Hi, Kayla. Hi, Drew. Good to have you guys watching this evening. And looking at the schedule to get here this season, we're right down to the end of it. 165 laps. We'll talk more about that with the race details coming up ahead of the green flag. Zach, how about fantasy? Have you made your picks?
I was the first one to make my picks.
I just had to make sure. Here are your fantasy standings with the chase in effect, and that's why it's narrowed back up at the top. Zach, I'm sorry, you're not in contention, but boy, the top 5, it is close up there.
I could gain a couple spots. I could gain 1 spot.
You could gain 1 spot. 1, singular, yeah. We'll see. I have not had a good chase. I'm down there in 7th. It's not looking great for me. But on the power ranking side, how about things over there, as Brendan Maddox will take the pole by 1/1000th of a second, by the way, robbing Dustin Stallings of the pole in his 100th start. Brendan is a bully. Regardless, here are your power rankings, and there you see Dustin Stallings on top. I think everything is pointing to him as the champion, but you've also got Buzzio and Johnny right there. Brendan Maddox, of course, he's had some rough weeks to get things going, but he's still up there. He's just had a really good season. Unfortunately, the chase has not gone well for him, and Ronnie Norman, Coulter Clark, they've each kind of fizzled out here at the back end of Season 6. Gray Walker kind of here or there. Of course, he was suspended last week from Talladega, where things might be different. That said, Zach, we have got a grid of starters ready to go from the virtual Echo Park Speedway, the legacy version thereof. Let's take a look at our starting grid. And on pole, how about Brendan Maddox in the 23, Dustin Stallings from the outside of row number 1, Johnny Wood Jr., Stephen Borbell, row 2, followed by Coulter Clark and Jordan White. A lot of Toyotas here at the front. Josh Parrott from 7th, Richard Wolsifer from 8th, a little farther back, Cameron Taylor, Ronnie Norman. Complete your top 10.
Rolling outside the top 10, you'll find Kevin Baumler and Gray Walker in the 11th and 12th spot, with 13th and 14th falling back down 1 more row in row number 7 to Kyle Klenk and Scott Fritz. 15th and 16th on the starting grid, you'll find Caden Perkins and Evan Patinko, with 17th and 18th rolling off Carl Pooler and Cole Lewis. Finally, in 19th and 20th, you will find Adam Buzzio and Dakota Bly, and then 1 more car to round out the field. That's Dan Stoccaro. Please ignore it. That 22nd place car, that's not important.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at these paint schemes, Zach. We've got a chance to do so. I already have a couple picked out, so I'll let you go first and not step on your toes.
Picks to win?
No. Best in show.
Best in show. You know what? I'm going to let you make your picks first.
Oh my gosh. Well, it'll be the 6. How about Caden Perkins in this Rowdy Forever throwback to Kyle Busch? And this is still difficult to talk about. I was not a Kyle Busch fan. In fact, going back to 2008, I hated the guy. but years in the industry and years just watching him mature as a driver and myself mature as a race fan, can't lie. Kyle Busch, one of the greatest, if not the greatest to ever do it in NASCAR. That's a good one for Caden Perkins. So he's on there for me, and then I'm going to circle around. I had it picked out. Let me grab car 23. Yeah, right from the pole. MX Designs. That I like that color combo.
I think I'm gonna have to take that 22 of Josh Parent. I don't know. The red and black looks good to me. It flows very nicely, and it provides a nice touch. And then I think
I'll tell you what. We'll let you pick after the green flag, because we do have to hit Whiplash
no,
Simcams.
I got it. I'll take a Ronnie Norman.
All right, there's a look at the number 17 Michelob Ultra Ford Mustang. But Whiplash Simcams race details. Here you go, 165 laps, 254.1 miles, just over 400 kilometers. 45 laps for stage number 1, 120 for stage number 2. We'll keep an eye out on everything as we get ready. We should have one pit stop, though, here in this first stage. That's going to make things a little more complicated for these drivers as they enter the restart zone here at Echo Park Speedway. We are green flag racing in the Sim Rap Market 250 at Atlanta. Down to the turns 3 and 4. Here they come. 3 wide at the front of the field, racing back to the start-finish line. Brennan Maddox will lead lap number 1. Horbell on the outside of Johnny Wood Jr. That's for 3rd.
I can't tell if Maddox got loose out of turn number 2 or if he just had a little notion to go ahead and block Johnny Wood Jr. You could tell he got loose, though. But he got real free off of turn number 2, ended up blocking the 75, stacked the run into 3. Couple cars in the wall, that's Jordan White. They're going to poke it 3 wide. Richard Wolsifer in the middle.
Yeah, Jordan got a big piece of that safer barrier, that's what I'm looking for, into turn number 3. As here we go, down into turn 1, 2 laps complete. Borbell the fastest. They are just about pack racing here to get this race started, Zach, and here we go. Borbell to the point. There are some big storms rolling through Johnson City, Tennessee tonight. That is no mind to Stephen Borbellini. He takes over. How about that?
I'm not sharing my $2 with you.
Ah, well. It was worth a shot. Lap 3 complete this time. Side by side across the stripe, Jordan White and Richard Wolsifer. They just get clear of a couple other cars as there is the 18 of Gray Walker. He's got a special Kyle Busch paint scheme on that machine. It doesn't have the league logos. Hello, what's happening here? He's in the middle of a couple of 6'5" teammates. Johnny Wood Jr. slowed down the backstretch. Richard Wolsifer also had a moment there. I think that was together between them. That was a little chaotic.
Contact with teammates is nothing you want to see ever, especially in the early stages of the race. But Wolsifer, the one who benefits overall, he's up to 6. Borbell's taken over the race lead in front of Brendan Maddox. Dustin Stallings now on the back bumper of that 23 car, trying to chase him down. Coulter Clark right behind. Then it's Jordan White, Richard Wolsifer, Gray Walker, Johnny Wood Jr., and Scott Fritz and Caden Perkins, your top 10.
We made Dustin Stallings make a pick for the race win. He picked Adam Buzzio. Let's go ahead and get ours in. Zach, who you got?
If I had to take a guess right now, honestly, I'm going to stick with my Fantasy Live pick to win. I'm going with Brendan Maddox.
Fair enough. If I'm going to go a little off the cuff here, which I am actually going to go... I'm just feeling it for some reason. I don't know why. Cameron Taylor. I know I picked somebody else to win this race, but for some reason, I'm getting some kind of feeling from that Poker Stars number 42. He's back there racing with Buzzio right now. It's a little bit of work to do as this race goes on, as there you see most of the front of the field all together. In fact, Carl Pooler is back here with these guys in that bright green and black number 71. He'll pull to the outside of the 17. And that's a pass in the works for 14th spot. Of course, this Atlanta Motor Speedway, Echo Park Speedway, whatever you want to call it, very, very bumpy, worn out surface. The surface was scanned back at around 2008. It's going to wear these tires out over the course of the run. Just how hot is it for these drivers? Of course, Atlanta known as Hot Atlanta colloquially, and there it is. The track temp has come up. Jordan White a little disappointed at first that the track temp wasn't higher, but now that these guys are racing on it, it's starting to get up there as we're up to 112 degrees Fahrenheit in sim, and date and time, there you see, August 11th, 3 o'clock, that's what I'm trying to say. 3 o'clock in the sim. It's going to get hotter.
Yeah, the heat is on. No, nothing. Come on.
Possibly, we'll see. We'll see.
No, it's a reference. It's a reference to a superhero. Firestorm. Look, he can't. For all those watching at home, just always remember, Andrew can't handle my level of nerdiness.
Whoa! Sideways! Steven Borbell maybe can't handle the heat here at Atlanta. He gets real sideways off of turns 3 and 4, loses the lead. He's going to fall back to 4th spot. It very much feels like runs, almost like Talladega last week, where you get a line going, you're able to run around somebody on the outside. This is kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of pack racing, kind of not.
It adds up with the lower horsepower of the ARCA car. Lower horsepower, higher downforce creates a bit of a circumstance for these guys.
Walter Clark looks to the inside there of Richard Wolfsburg. That is for 3rd spot. Side by side behind them, Borbell and Wood off of turn number 2. Johnny Wood Jr. trying to win this championship. It's really down to the 00, the 5, and the 75, and if you're just going off of this first run so far, Dustin Stallings is putting them all to sleep. Boy, I mean, it is just not that exciting right now in the title fight because he is just so darn good at the moment. But let this race evolve. Johnny Wood Jr., Adam Buzzio, very capable of bringing the fight to Dustin Stallings over the course of the evening. But right now, that 00 firing on all 8 cylinders up the racetrack. How about Brandon Maddox with the save? And here comes Dustin Stallings in his 100th BRB start. He's going to take over lap number 12. He's trying to get win 12, Zach. Is that some kind of foreshadowing?
We'll have to wait and see. As Stallings hangs on to it right now, here's the big group that the fight is currently forming for. They are 2x2, 3 rows deep. Look at Perkins trying to make it 3 wide on the bottom. He backs out of it after almost getting into the back bumper of Gray Walker. That's going to allow Adam Buzzio to slide on into the top side, potentially take a couple spots away here.
How about
but as it runs right now,
he pulls around the outside of Coulter Clark there through 3 and 4. And Buzzio is up here. I mean, there's a lot moving within this top 10. And Caden Perkins, how about him, Zach? The only non-chaser in the top 10 currently. And off turn number 2, Carl Pooler spinning to the inside. That is a problem. He comes to stop down there, but no caution.
No damage either.
That's good, but I mean, he really needed the yellow for that. Patinko right up here behind the top 10 now. Carl Pooler was 11th at the time of that spin, so that is going to be hard for him to accept. Having a good run and just around off of turn 2, almost like nothing even happened, and that's going to sting for Carl today for sure.
Most definitely. You gotta feel for Carl. He's just... I don't want to say that he's always had bad luck, but he certainly seems to fall on it pretty often.
He doesn't have much good luck, that's for sure. Oh, Johnny Wood Jr. right to the speed shot there on the front straightaway. That was right to the wall. These guys using every inch of the racetrack, and they have to, Zach, especially as the afternoon goes on in sim. The track is only going to get hotter. They're only going to get more rubber down. It's all going to get greasier, so they've got to move around the racetrack and search around for what has grip and what doesn't. Obviously, they want to hit the colder racetrack that maybe can grip the tires a little better, but at the same time, some of that rubber can actually help the car turn, oddly enough. So it's a matter of just finding what works, what makes pace.
Well, you want to talk about searching for something. How about searching for points? These guys need to find some points. There's contact right there between Wolsifer and Borbell. But Stallings leads. The next closest championship contender is Johnny Wood Jr., and he's in 8th. So right now, Stallings stands to gain.
The inside!
Oh,
Richard Wolsifer pulling the Travis Pastrana down through the Legends Oval. He's going to pull back up onto the racetrack here. Watch out, anybody behind him. Thankfully, there aren't many cars back there. He goes all the way back to 15th spot. Kevin Baumler's back there, and he will pass the 56th off of turn number 2. So Richard Wolsifer out of the top 10. He was fastest for most of practice, and that, unfortunately, doesn't seem to have helped him a whole lot.
Well, as I was saying before Richard Wolsifer decided to take his little excursion through the grass, Dustin Stallings stands to gain quite a few points over these guys as they run right now. So with Buzzio 13 points behind, currently sitting in the 10th position, he stands to lose 9 points to Dustin Stallings, putting him 22 behind going into the next race. And then with Johnny Wood Jr. running in the 7th spot, he stands to lose 6 points. That would put him also 22 points behind. So we'd have a tie for second in the points right now, with 22 points extended for Dustin Stallings, up from 13 going into Homestead. And that's not even factoring in stage points just yet.
And frankly, Buzzio and Wood cannot afford to have that happen. Buzzio currently runs in the 11th spot, had some great gains early in this run. He's starting to fall back already. The comers and goers very much apparent. Johnny at least is up into 7th. There is the gold number 75, adorned by Coors Banquet logos all over, and there is the cut at number 5, black and red on that Ford Mustang, trying to get to the outside of Josh Parent. That is for 10th spot. That is a big position. Why, Zach? Regardless of what Stallings gets, you need to get stage points. If you don't get stage points tonight, you're not doing what you need to do in this championship. If you are the top 3 in standings, you need to finish stage 1 somewhere in the top 10, preferably the top 5.
Yeah. Realistically looking at it, if Stallings stands to win the stage, your position at this point is not to gain points on him, it's to minimize the amount of points that you're losing. And stage points is going to help bridge that gap as Parent and Buzzio continue to fight it out. I'm sure Buzzio is not going to like this, and it's not because there's doing anything wrong, it's because he is in the fight for the championship. Parent is not, and he wants any points he can get.
Parent also, I'm sure, wants to get all the points he can get. Everybody does, but you're right.
I'm sure
there is a little more on the line if you're Adam Buzzio right now than Josh Parent, so any kind of fighting like that is going to be much to the opposite of what Adam needs. And yeah, that was very close off of turn 2. Stephen Borbell hangs on the outside of the 4-car and gets the run into turn number 3. Clark back down on the inside. I think I'd want to be on the outside here, Zach, but you can tell already. Look how dark the whole racetrack is down there in 3 and 4, and it's the same down to 1 and 2. They have used a lot of this pavement already through practice and now qualifying and into the race. I mean, look at that. Stallings takes it all the way to the wall in 1 and 2. Maddox a little bit lower, hooking that bottom seam. And Borbell even working the top seam with his left sides right on it. So these guys using the entirety of the racetrack right now. It's only lap 24, and it's going to be a long one for these guys. I mean, it's going to be long. It's going to be punishing over the course of the evening, as we've already seen a couple of self-spins for no caution from Wolsifer and Pooler. Pooler, by the way, dead last right now, 21st spot, but hopefully he gets back up there at some point. Obviously, it's going to be difficult within this stage. No cautions yet, and these guys, I do believe, need to make a pit stop for fuel within this stage. I mean, tires aren't necessarily required, but they're going to want them anyway.
You know, Andrew, looking at all of these drivers and seeing how they're running, it's really kind of cool to watch how they're all forming their strategies and forming everything, especially since I have recently learned how to use Garage 61. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to have the race pulled up since I mistakenly joined as a driver. I can see all the live timing and everything now. And the way these guys are maneuvering around this racetrack and how their lap times are showing it, especially with the gaps, it's really, really interesting. I can also see the stints that they're on and how much these guys are really pushing their tires. And honestly, it's really great data to have and to watch these guys just tear it up right now is really, really cool.
Nothing against Garage 61, Zach, but did you know that you can see a lot of that data already with ATVO? And you don't have to be the broadcaster to use it?
But I don't know how to use ATVO?
You just open it, join a session, open the timing screen. We'll teach you one day. Regardless, battle here for the 4th spot. Stephen Borbell on the outside. Scott Fritz down low. They are both chase drivers, neither one really in the battle for the championship. Again, it comes down to Stallings, to Buzzio, and to Wood. And hey, Adam Buzzio's got his own little fan club out in the YouTube chat. Julie chiming in. Julie, good to see you out there, cheering on her husband. Right now, no offense, Adam, but he could use everything. He could use any bit of help from the comment section. He is just not where he needs to be in this stage. Hopefully, and I'm kind of hoping here that maybe he's playing the long game, but down in 12th, that is valuable stage points on the table ahead of him that he is not currently going to be getting if he finishes in this spot here in stage 1 and gets to the wall there off of turn 4. This is a big early struggle for somebody who really can't afford it. And I gotta say, props to these three, because they were in the conversation for the championship last season too, earlier this year in 2026. Ultimately, Zach Hall won the championship, but these three, the last 2 seasons have been the most consistent. Stallings, Maddox, I'd say, is in that group too, but Stallings, Buzzio, and Johnny Wood is. Oh, Dustin Stallings is maybe not going to appreciate that pass from Coulter Clark, but everybody's racing for their own thing here. It's part of it, as Maddox has gotten ahead of Stallings, Coulter Clark getting ahead of Stallings. Dustin does fire back a little bit here down the back stretch.
And props to these guys really for... I was going to say, props to these guys for staying green for so long.
Yeah, even with those couple of spins.
Yeah, I got about 15 laps left to go in the stage. We've been rolling very quickly so far. And I think we're really starting to take shape now that we've gone into this long run of who the comers and the goers are. We know Brendan Maddox, Dustin Stallings, and Coulter Clark are more than likely going to be those 3 cars up the front that could be contending towards the end, but this middle group, this real big middle group is, there you go, pit stops underway. Borbell, the first one to head down to the pit lane as the fight for the lead.
He missed it.
Whoa!
He hit the cone. That's going to be a penalty for Stephen Borbell. Maybe even speeding on top of it. Certainly unsafe pit entrance as they are fighting for the race lead. Look at this. Maddox stays ahead for now, but Clark and Stallings there side by side, and Stallings had a move on Maddox that time across the stripe. We were just watching the pit stop there for Borbell when it happened. I'm curious, when do we see more of these guys come to the pit lane? That felt a little bit early out of Borbell, but if you're going to add tires onto it, obviously that could help. The problem for him, he's in the pit lane now serving a penalty. There's Johnny Wood. He's in.
That's going to be a big, big blow to Stephen Borbell, and as Johnny Wood Jr. hits the pit lane.
Let's see what he does with it. He's got some left side damage. Do we see tires go on this 75 car? That's the big question. No tires yet. Fuel only so far for the 75 car. Yeah, fuel only.
I like this.
I mean, I get why you like it to save the set, but that is bold as heck at Atlanta. Scott Fritz is in.
I mean, call it bold all you want. The stint itself is going to reflect that Johnny now has the ability to gain a little bit of ground.
I mean, look, if you need stage points, especially if you're trying to come back from behind, I think you need to prioritize the stage. We've talked about it. This is the 5th season now, Zach, that I've said it. Prioritize the stage. How do you do that right now? You put tires on. That's what wins these championships. Scott Fritz down and away, looks like fuel only for him as well. I don't think no tires is the way to go in this stage.
I like it. I like the no tires.
We've been saying
I think
it
that's going to be a good call.
2 years. I don't think that's the way to go. Caution. Scott Fritz off of turn number 2 immediately after exiting the pit lane. Caution is out. And now, sure, Johnny Wood's going to have the lucky dog, but he's going to be stuck in the back. And the question now for him is still, does he take tires or not? I mean, this This has not gone well.
So much for the strategy call.
Yeah. Clearly the strategy was to stay out. Borbell also going to be trapped. He'll be trapped 2 laps down, though. Here is Scott Fritz off of turn number 2. Trying to get up. Actually hits his teammate, Johnny Wood Jr. down the backstretch.
Oh my goodness, that was a heavy impact for the 48 car.
And that may not give Johnny the lucky dog.
That may trap both of them a lap down.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
That's a 0x for Johnny, I'm sure. Oh
that
my gosh.
That would give it to Stephen Borbell.
He needs it. Johnny actually got loose and came down into Scott and about tail whipped him into the inside wall. So really not on Scott at all. Johnny Wood Jr., I think, going to lose this lucky dog and trap himself. I mean, that's doubly a wrong move out of the 75. He will stay out. He may at least be able to get the wave around, but then he definitely can't get tires, as I would imagine at least a handful of these guys put him on, right? I mean,
I guarantee that Stephen Borbell is just sitting there licking his chops because he was not expecting to potentially get the lucky dog here.
And that is a huge save for him. He is getting that lap back. As there we go, down and away. Fuel only for the vast majority of these drivers, but not all of them. There are a couple of drivers going for tires. Looks like Caden Perkins, possibly the first, maybe at 2 tires. Dustin Stallings takes 4. I like that. I like that a lot. He's going to blow past everybody. That's almost a guaranteed stage win for him. And frankly, protecting this points lead is the most important thing. He can play it easy the rest of the race and just kind of come home with the top 10. Protecting this points lead is going to be absolutely paramount for driver 00. I like that call.
I'm telling you, Andrew. I'm telling you right now. You just jinxed him.
Nah.
Guarantee it.
Nah. No way, no
Do we
how.
need to go over the jinxes that happened at Bristol last night for Nora?
We absolutely don't. What we do need to go over are the paint schemes up for vote in the MX Raps Best in Show contest. And well, let's go ahead and go back through them. Here is the 23 of Brendan Maddox. No votes yet. In fact, we only have 3 in for the entire poll, but none yet for Brendan. So there is his number 23. Also have the 6 of Caden Perkins in it, and that, I mean, this should be easily the winner, I think. It is admittedly just a nod to the Hendrick cars paint schemes that you see on, well, Hendrick cars, and I mean, Roger Caruth runs it. Corey Day, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Kyle Larson when they run O'Reilly Auto Parts races. Go down to the truck series, and an endless number of drivers have run it for Spire in the trucks. And this specifically is a nod to the last race that Kyle Busch ran in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Dover. He won the race, unfortunately passed away the week following. Also in the vote, the 22 of Josh Parent, the KZ colors there for him. That is his YouTube channel, and that's the 17 right over his shoulder, actually. Ronnie Norman, the Michelob Ultra, number 17 for Ronnie. Coming around to the restart zone, just a little while longer to vote for Best in Show. You've got until the end of this stage. Green flag on the way. Restart zone there for Brendan Maddox from the fan cam. We are back green, maybe a lane change there for the 23. And we are crashing.
The caution!
And Stallings is in it! Stallings is in it big time!
You. What did I tell you, Andrew?
I don't want none of it. Johnny Wood is also maybe in it. Cameron Taylor is in it big time. He's junk.
Oh, no.
There's always someone, I feel like, on these restarts. Oh, gosh, that 42 is destroyed.
Black flag for Richard Wolsifer, Caden Perkins, Johnny Wood Jr. I'm sure all those flags will be cleared.
There's Richard.
Probably just for...
There's Caden Perkins. Their cars look okay. They went down to the pit lane, I would think, to avoid this melee on the start, potentially. Let's see what happened. This is down to the start zone. Honestly, I don't know where this starts. It seems like from the little preview we just saw on our side, maybe the 6 got hooked. The 42 was certainly in it. Let's see what happens here to the restart zone. If you're watching from the fan cam, didn't get a great look at it. It was Cameron Taylor. Spun his tires, and wow.
That's going to take Dustin Stallings out of contention for this win, potentially?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It didn't look too bad. The damage certainly wasn't bad. Let's see how the hit looked for that gold and white 00 on the top lane. Watch the 42 in the restart zone. Mashes the gas, spins, collects the 6, the 10, the 00. I don't think it's that bad for Dustin, frankly. Cole Lewis got a piece. And that puts us back under caution here, right at the end of stage 1. Let's see this from Cole Lewis's perspective. Big hits there ahead of him, tried to lock it down. Man. And the 00 is in the pit lane for service. The car does have nose damage. Let's see how long he ends up in the box here. He actually is slow into the box. I don't know why. Just cost him a couple of seconds, but it shouldn't be too bad. He's actually... Oh, no. He just took tires again. Maybe that's what he was trying to change. The right sides went up. Now, that is a problem I give you, taking a second set right here.
This is not good.
That is a big issue for Dustin Stallings.
Everything is just starting to fall away for Dustin Stallings. This could be really, really bad for the 00.
There's Adam Buzzio. He is 8th currently under this caution. Johnny Wood Jr. into 11th. Johnny did pit. No, he did not actually. He did not pit under this yellow, so he's just going to ride it out. He's 11th. If there's another round of wheel spinning on the restart, he might be all right. And Dustin gets back out. Should we dial him up, see how bad the damage is?
Yeah, might as well.
I guess we'll do so with great care, as we never know how frustrated he may be at the moment. But let's go ahead and drag him down. I'm trying to find our waiting room. There it is. And Dustin, we just want to check in really quick. How bad is the damage?
It's not too bad, but some reason iRacing decided to use a right side set of tires when I had no tires checked. So
yeah, we saw the check up there into the box, and the right sides go up. I was really hoping maybe it just went up and they didn't go on, but Dustin, best of luck.
I appreciate it.
It's going to be a long night now for driver 00. Get him back up to his teammates at Maverick Motorsports. It's going to be a very, very long evening for him. Here we go. We're going to have 3 to go in stage 1 when we go back green. Let's try this again from the fan cam. Brendan Maddox into the restart zone. Let's hope this goes a little better. Watch this 5 car, Zach. He's going to cut through the field. He has tires on that car. He could very easily get a top 5, if not a top 3 or a stage win here once those tires start to work for him. Here he goes through turn 3 and 4. He's going to pick off Ronnie Norman. He's going to try and pick off Jordan White in turn 1. From there, it's rough going.
The more points that Adam Buzzio gains, the more he puts himself in a position to gain on Dustin Stallings. That 00 still struggling with getting back into the top 10. He's sitting in the 15th spot, and look at Buzzio. Here he goes on Josh Parrott for the 4th spot. Parrott goes low on Clark. This is really shaping up to be an interesting finish to the stage. Buzzio runs into the bottom, gets a 2-for-1 special in turn 4.
Up to 3rd. He's now trying to run these 2 down as they duke it out for the stage win. 1 lap to go. Stage 1. Richard Walsifer to the inside. I think he's got 2 tires, Zach. Pulls right on by. Actually, no, he pitted under green, didn't? Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Might be talking to him in a moment. Can Buzzio get there, though? Maddox is a wash for the stage. Buzzio's going to try and pin it around the outside. Can he get there? Maddox comes up and outblocks, and it is going to be Richard Walsifer to the line for stage 1.
And 9 points in the bag for Adam Buzzio.
Nary
That's
a
going
point.
to be big.
Nary a point for Dustin Stallings. Nary a point for Johnny Wood Jr. It is big time focus on the 5 car after that. I mean, You know what? I mentioned he needed all the luck he could get, Zach. I think he might have found the golden horseshoe. The win at Talladega last week, nearly a stage win here. If Maddox doesn't sweep up the racetrack there in 3 and 4, I think he gets Wolfsburg by the line.
And 0.04 of a second between 5th, 6th, and 7th for the stage right there at the start-finish line. That was really impressive. But with 9 points in the bag, that puts... Oh, geez. That puts the gap between him and Dustin Stallings at 4 points.
Yeah.
4 points. So Johnny's still 16 back. Adam now 4 back. But with how they run right now, with the current running order, the points lead would go to Adam Buzzio by... Oh, second... Hold on. Nope. They're in pit road, so I can't... It's going to make it harder to do. But this has blown the championship wide open.
See a few drivers out of the pit lane early. First off the pit lane is going to end up being Adam Buzzio. He takes fuel only here, which makes sense after taking tires there late in the stage. Johnny Wood Jr. actually stays out. He pitted, apparently, at the back end of stage 1 somehow. I'm not really sure. Maybe he pitted... I wonder if he pitted to get the track position here, right when they went green. And we didn't catch it because we were focused on the battles. That said, let's go ahead and dial up driver 56, his teammate, who ends up winning this first stage in one of the craziest turn of events I've seen for a stage finish in a while. We'll go ahead and grab Richard Wolfsby. We were talking to him last week ahead of Talladega, and, well, here we go, Richard. A stage win for you. That can't be what you were expecting with about 10 to go on the stage, right?
Actually, it was kind of accidental. Went into the pits during that yellow to get fuel, and I totally thought I had my tires unchecked, so I unchecked my left side tires real fast and took the 2-tire change and gave me the grip to be able to run up front as quick as I could, so we'll definitely take it.
And it kind of helped that Brendan got really tight behind you that lap, coming to the checkers, the green and white checkers anyways. Do you think Adam might have had you if not for that?
I don't know. I don't know how close Adam was. I mean, I knew Brendan wasn't going to get me. He was on the old tires, didn't change them. So I didn't really see how close Adam was to me coming across the line. I don't think he could have got me, but who knows? In a different world, when he gets around Brendan easier, it's possible.
I mean, this is a huge turnaround from you as well. Early in that stage, self-spin off of turn 4, suddenly you're winning the stage. How?
Well, I mean, that was just my mistake. I was trying to keep up with the guys, and I was driving a little bit harder than I should have just because they were taking up every good line and just kind of using the arrow to block me. So, but that's kind of the name of the game with these cars, and I just fell for the trap.
Richard, best of luck. We'll get you back up there to your teammates.
Thank you, sir.
Richard Wolfs for stage 1 winner here at Atlanta, and, well, Adam Buzzio going to lead us to the green, Zach. Johnny Wood Jr. pitted there right before we went green, or we're going green. He takes 4 tires, and will finally get back out there with these guys. Green flag back in the air, stage 2 underway, 120 laps or so. To the bottom, here comes Brendan Maddox. Wolfsburg now behind, and how about Evan Patinko right there with these guys? Jordan White is in the conversation. Ronnie Norman, Caden Perkins, here they go.
3 wide through the middle. Norman to the bottom. Jordan White in the middle. Wolsifer up top. They get a little squared away. Back to double. 3 rows deep as Buzzio still hanging on the top side, and Patinko ripping down on that bottom lane.
Look at Coulter Clark.
Look at Coulter Clark. James, you owe me a soda.
He ran a perfect line there through 1 and 2. Pulls right up on these guys. He's got brand new tires. That was really, really cool, actually. Through turns 1 and 2. Patinko, he is on the back bumper of Brendan Maddox here down the front stretch. Can Patinko get to the lead?
We'll have to wait and see. Down into turn number 1. Takes a look to the bottom.
How about down low Patinko?
You know, Andrew, we've seen first-time winners in the series so far this year. We've seen 2, actually, Dakota Bly and Zach Maddox, Daytona and Iowa, respectively. Do we see another driver get his first win in the series? And Evan has the most starts in the series, tied with Coulter Clark. No, not Coulter Clark. Carl Pooler. Thank you.
Both still winless. I do want to mention we're extending the Best in Show vote. We'll let that run till lap 100. Not many votes out there. Get your votes in. Best in Show, we'll recap it sometime in about 20 to 30 laps. This is a great fight towards the front. Patinko, yeah, still searching for that win. I put them both on. Oh, man, he hits the wall down to the grass. That might be this run over, but it was looking good until that moment. Put them both on Who You Got last week at Dega, hoping maybe it would help either Pooler or Patinko win. It didn't. Could tonight be the night? I don't know. Anything can happen when you get on a long run here at Atlanta, to be fair.
Look at Coulter Clark down on the bottom of Jordan White. He pushed it 3 wide underneath Caden Perkins. Perkins got a better run. Clark gets a little loose. Makes contact with Jordan White.
Across the stripe that time, it is still Maddox over Buzzio and Wolsifer. Patinko and Perkins right behind. There are a couple of non-chasers. Jordan White, Josh Parent, also a couple of non-chasers. Teammates from Spirit Racing as they hang out here in the top 10. Further back, Stephen Borbell, the final car currently in the top 10. On board there briefly with Stephen Borbell. Back up to your leader. Oh boy, here comes that number 6. Caden Perkins driving like he's hyped up on M&M's. Here he comes to the inside of Brennan Maddox for the race lead.
Side by side down into turn 3. Perkins throws it in there, gets the race lead away.
Caden Perkins to the point in the Rowdy Forever number 6, paying homage and respect to the late and the great Kyle effing Busch. I think it's a great way to make a PG, right?
Sure.
He was KFB for a reason, all right? Through turns 3 and 4, Caden Perkins starting to get a bit of a race lead here over Maddox. The thing I'm concerned about for the 6 car is burning these tires up a little bit too early. These guys behind him, I think they're pacing themselves. He does not seem to be doing that as we've got Parent to the inside of a 3 wide with Wolsifer and Borbell up top. Patinko's right behind it. Parent up the racetrack. That was a little sketchy.
Right in front of Wolsifer, stays on the bumper, moves back up to the top behind Borbell. Parent and Borbell racing for that 7th spot. Buzzio still on the inside of Coulter Clark as they run, Andrew.
Perkins in the wall, that time off a 4. In the wall again at the stripe. He's going to lose all these spots. Here comes Norman.
Hangs tough on the top side, outside of Ronnie Norman. Going back forward on the outside of Brennan Maddox, too. Gets really tight in 3 and 4. But Maddox slides up in front of the 6, back in the wall.
That arrow tight is getting all these guys. You get stuck behind somebody, it's going to be pushing, burning that right front up. And in this case, I think Perkins burnt his tires up anyways just by running out front. We'll have to see as the run goes on. I mean, track temp, let's take a look at that. Up to 112 still. It is warm. The humidity is real high, 87%. I mean, that is like Amazon rainforest humidity.
Thankfully, we're not going to take a dip in the Amazon River, as they're 3 wide.
You say that, Zach, but one slip up by anybody at the front, and there is a field of piranhas ready to grab them, bite them, pull them down into the depths. I mean, the way this field is set up tonight, and how almost packed up they are, you make one slip up, you are very much in the grasp of everybody else in this front pack. And right now, that is everybody on the lead lap just about.
You want to talk about slip-ups? How about we talk about how the points lead is going to shake up? So Adam Buzzio runs in the 5th spot. Here's your live points update presented by your one true Zach Burtis. Adam Buzzio runs in the 5th spot right now. Johnny Wood Jr. runs in the 10th spot. Meanwhile, Dustin Stallings runs a little bit further down the running order in that 14th spot. So right now the gap is about 9 cars. So about 9 points to gain from 4 points. So it looks like 5 points to the good. Adam Buzzio is in the points lead, whereas Johnny Wood Jr. is looking to gain another 4 points. That would put him just about 12 points behind Dustin Stallings. Let's not take into account, or let's actually take into account Richard Wolsifer. He gained 10 points, so he's 22 points behind Dustin Stallings. Make that about 7 spots in front. So you're looking at another points gain of about 15 points behind Dustin Stallings. So 4 cars right now in the shot for this championship.
A lot to keep track of. Let's not forget Maddox as well. He got some points. He's just too far out. But he is playing spoiler.
56 points
He's
behind.
playing spoiler. He's going to take points away potentially. We saw Coulter Clark grab the race lead. Ronnie Norman took a stab at it there. He's going to slot in now in 2nd spot. Got the nose ahead briefly. Perkins is still here. I mean, you see just how much these guys are drafting to stay at the front. And I'd imagine, you know, back there a little deeper in the top 10, those guys hopefully are trying to stay easy on the wheel, not turn the car too much. Try to preserve their tires over the course of this run, but out front, these guys are using them up. Clark leading. Ronnie Norman way up the racetrack, and here comes the run from the 17 to the inside.
Big shot to the inside on Coulter Clark. Norman's going to throw it down into turn number 3 and slide up the racetrack, but he's not going to get clear of Coulter Clark. They're going to stay side by side. Oh, it's tight.
Oh, contact between Norman and Clark. Nearly right hooked across the start-finish line. Here comes Josh Parent at the 22.
Don't look now, but Caden Perkins is up on the top side. It looks like a domino right there.
Oh, we might go 4 wide down the backstretch. Perkins got loose. The 4 got loose. The 22's in the bottom making hay, and the 23 takes over the race lead. Up the racetrack goes Josh Parent. There's the 42 pitting out of the way. Up the racetrack again goes Parent. Here comes Jordan White. What is going on?
Jordan White down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to make some hay as well. Caden Perkins benefits from getting all around that jumbled mess. Moves up to the 3rd spot. This has been chaos.
Orbell is back into the top 5. He's into 4th. Clark now going to set sail after Brendan Maddox, who gets the race lead back away through all of that. And Zach, we're inside of 100 to go. I mean, the way these guys are racing, these laps are just clicking right off. It's still going to be a long night for them. It might be a little faster for us with the way they're racing, but for these guys, it's going to feel like an eternity. Unless they, well, even if they get some more cautions. There's no saving it. You sign in for 250 miles at Atlanta, you're in for a long night no matter what.
These guys are tearing it up right now. Absolutely going at it.
Here comes
Orbell still hanging tough on the top side.
Got a great run there off of turn 4. Pulls up to 3rd spot. Trying to dispatch the 6 car on his inside. There is 1 lap car ahead, I believe. That is going to either be Gavin Baumler, yeah, or Cole Lewis was my thought. Single file at the top now. Side by side between Perkins and White back there. Oh, sideways in the back. Did you see the 81 off of turn 4?
Maybe just a tad.
He had a handful. Spotting flies off the 4th corner that time, trying to hang on to a top 10. Drops down to 11th, and right at the back end of all of this, Dustin Stallings. Look, man, he's got to save a lot of tire. He's in a bad spot, absolutely, but sometimes when you sit behind a field like this, it actually really just helps you preserve your tires, run a lot longer than you typically would think you can. I think the tires can technically do it, but he's going to have to do some wacky stuff with fuel mileage.
And you want to talk about fuel mileage, everyone's relatively on the same stint right now. Scott Fritz has a bit fresher tires. Johnny Wood Jr. has a bit fresher tires. Realistically speaking. Oh, Andrew, everything's still kind of taking shape here.
Brennan Maddox in control at Echo Park Speedway. This has just not been at all what I thought was going to happen this evening. I didn't expect these guys to be this packed up either. I mean, it is... You know what this feels like, Zach, and probably isn't that far off? Was it 2018 or 2019 when they tried that package at the All-Star race? Where everybody just had...
package?
Yeah, massive, I mean, plexiglass. Like, think of the outlaw modifieds you see across the north half of the country at some of those flat tracks where they run massive plexiglass walls on top of the car for downforce and side force, help them just stay glued to the racetrack. That's what it felt like in the back end of these cars. I guess the Cup cars, technically, that year. It was the year that Kenseth ran the 6 in the All-Star race. So, do the math there, I guess. But
that was 2020.
No, because Kenseth ran the 42 that year. It was either 18 or 19, and I think it was 19.
No, well...
Point being,
Hold on.
there was not much power, massive blade on the back end. That's when they really had the giant spoilers in the Cup Series, and those cars just kind of stayed glued together in a pack. They couldn't really separate. We're starting to see some separation now. Wolfsburg battling with Buzzio is pulling them both back. Otherwise, I mean, these guys just look like they are stuck together like glue.
Buzzio ripping around the top side. Scott Fritz to his inside. Trying to make this work. Wolves for a little sideways off corner exit. They're moving around up in front of them. Josh Parent, Caden Perkins. They're trying to find some racing room. And Fritz moving forward on the bottom.
Yeah, Fritz going forward now as these guys start to stabilize at a longer run. Can confirm, by the way, that was 2018 I was thinking of, where Kenseth ran the 6 car.
Yes, I just saw the Google image that you sent me. Oh,
75
baby.
complete here at Echo Park Speedway. Battle between Fritz and Parent. This is for position number 6. 90 laps left to go. Man, I really cannot get a read on where this race is headed. I will say props to Cameron Taylor staying in this race. He's 25 laps down, but not quitting. Cole Lewis, 9 laps down. Again, not quitting. Kevin Baumler, 1 lap down. Again, not quitting. Those guys staying in it. Carl Pooler, though, having some technical difficulties with the rig for the 2nd week running, and so he is out of the race as he continues to diagnose those. Great battles here in the back half of the top 10. Dustin Stallings is getting up here. Here's the onboard with Gray Walker. Kyle Klenk in the top 10. There goes Buzzio on the top side. And there goes Stallings. It may still work out for him. So let's think about this. He's working with 2 more sets in the pits. These guys have gone 30 already. They can clearly go at least about 40. So 40 from, we went green. Let's say they pitted at 47, 46, 47. So say they go to 87, from there they go to 127. They can get to the end from there. I do think this can work for Dustin, but if we get a caution, he's up the creek. He really needs this race to go green or for a yellow to come exactly to fit into his pit strategy. Otherwise, yeah, he's in trouble. But he's not absolutely doomed just yet.
I don't even know if I want to start thinking about pit strategy. I'm still thinking about points math. I mean, totally shifting gears away to a different subject here. This has just gone downhill for Dustin Stallings. He is caught up to Adam Buzzio, at least. He's right there outside the top 10. But everything's just starting to... It's starting to get a little bit more clear on how it's all going to shake up when we go into Auto Club next week or to California. And how this is going to affect the points. I mean, We're looking at 3 points that separate them right now. And that would be 3 points to Dustin Stallings' advantage. Make it 5 as soon as he passes Adam Buzzio. He's got to get these back. This is 2 races in a row that he did not score stage points. And this is Dustin Stallings we're talking about. Stallings was literally winning stages left and right when he was winning the championship. He needs to get back to that form.
I don't think he is not in that form. I think his luck is not in that form. I mean, he played stage 1, I thought, perfectly right as we jump on board here with Buzzio, and that's going to help Stallings go by. I think he played stage 1 really, really well. The rest of the field had issues, and it was affiliated teammates, well, affiliated driver, not teammate, Cameron Taylor, who had problems on the restart, and that collected Perkins into Stallings and others. I mean, it's luck of the draw, and in his position, I think you have to take that shot, because if he had worked that to his advantage, Zach, they had 10 laps. He absolutely, as we have one pitting, that is Johnny Wood Jr. He can afford to pit a little bit earlier here, I think. This is a slight bit earlier than I would have gone, but I think he can make this work. That might help him get some spots, but yeah, I mean, I think Dustin made the right pit call. It just, he was wrong place, wrong time. Took a chance on himself. If he had won that stage, that could have really flipped the script. As here we go.
Here we go.
Pitting, Brendan Maddox and Coulter Clark. It's in Stallings' best interest, by the way, to stay out as long as he can, which is going to be interesting to see how he does with that, as well as the 23 and 4 hit the pits here. 1 lap removed from Johnny Wood doing so himself, and he takes 4 tires and fuel. Kevin Baumler also into the pit lane. There is the 10 car. And there's Dan Stockaro pitting. I'm sorry, Dan Tire Stackaro, after they did the, what was it, Daytona incident?
Oh boy.
Another pit stop here, Ronnie Norman. Oh, he has trouble getting down to the pit lane. He does get there, though, in the number 17. And so he will come in for service. Yeah, it was. Maddox working back onto the racetrack. There is the 23 car. He took 4 tires and fuel along with Coulter Clark, about 3/4 of a second behind the 23. There he is. Let's see, do we have any other takers here? It'll be Caden Perkins giving the race lead away to Jordan White. Watch it on entry. Here comes Fritz. Here comes Buzzio.
These pit stops are going to be uber important for how the rest of the race shakes up for these drivers, especially these drivers in the hunt for the championship.
Jordan White, Josh Parent. Oh, how is the 5 scored a lap ahead of these guys? I'm not sure, but I'm sure we'll sort itself out as, boy, Josh Parent pits from the middle of the racetrack, and Jordan White slides to a stop and is going to lose all that time now at the front of the field. Scoring has now corrected itself, and Buzzio is no longer a lap ahead of these guys. Whoa. Boy, what if he had tricked the scoring system to put him that far out? That would have been something. This batch comes on in. You see Borbell, White, Parent, Wolsifer, Clank in this group. Dustin Stallings continuing on. He will pit this time. Like I said, he's got to run all the laps he can. Gray Walker does it with him. There will at least be help for the 00. That way he's not completely on his own, as Dakota Bly works down the back straightaway this time, but he might be able to go a little bit longer. He has brought it right to 40 laps on his run. Hear him saving into the corner. He will be pitting, which then turns the lead over to Brendan Maddox here shortly. Here he comes through turns 3 and 4. He's got Coulter Clark right behind. Where's the 00 at? There he is, still in the pit lane, waiting on this service to complete. He will roll, and here comes Maddox. There goes Maddox. So now we have that separation, Zach. Now we are in a proper long run here at Echo Park.
Max continues to hang on to the race lead, and Stallings goes backwards. You can see how the undercut has worked in the favor of a lot of these drivers who are on the fresher tires right now. well, okay, I don't want to say fresher tires, but tires up to temperature. So it's going to take a lap or two for Stallings to fall back into play, but he hasn't really lost that much ground. There's still more ground that he can make up, but I don't know. I don't know how much he's going to get, is the thing.
I don't think it's that bad of a deal to have fresher tires the rest of each of these runs, frankly. He's buying himself some insurance with laps, and then he's going to have slightly better grip once he gets those tires back up to temperature. He might be able to get some of these spots back that he's going to inherently lose by staying out longer than everybody else. There's Parent, Fritz, and Perkins. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th on back. As the 5 of Buzzio currently runs in 7th spot, and this is a great opportunity for him. Nearly got the stage win. That would have been icing on the cake, but oh, as Perkins gets the wall ahead. Gets a hold of the race car, but I still think Buzzio's in a great spot. We just got to get through the laps, and we still have 75 or so to go. So there's time for anything to happen, but I mean, it's hard to deny that the 5 is looking good right now. And I will say Johnny Wood Jr. is putting this race together nicely as well. He is in the 3rd as they run, but time will tell if that's going to stand up over the course of the run since he was 1st in the pit lane. I want to give a big thank you to our partners here with the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Sundance Pizza, mxwraps.com. Performance Food Group. I actually saw one of their facilities this weekend down in the Florence, South Carolina area. RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, CC's Business, helping us make things happen with the series all season long here in season number 6. And a thank you to our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, MX-Wraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. I mentioned we would recap the drivers in it for Best in Show, because we didn't have many votes last time we were looking at it. Let's go ahead and go back through them. One of them is leading the race, and that is Brendan Maddox. We're going to give you guys about 7 more laps to vote on this. But there you see Brendan Maddox in the 23, leading this race. He's the most so far, absolutely the strongest driver here at the moment. Also in this, how about the 22 of Josh Parent, who's in 4th. The KZ colors on his Toyota Camry. He's going to go by Cole Lewis there on the bottom side. Let's not forget the 17 here of Ronnie Norman. Michelob Ultra colors. And finally, I think the car that should win this, and I expect to see more of these Kyle Busch throwbacks next week. It's interesting, next week when we go to California, Zach, it will be very, very near the 21st anniversary of Kyle Busch's very first NASCAR Cup Series win, which happened at California in the late summer, Labor Day weekend, under the lights. Caden Perkins, though, in a Kyle Busch Rowdy Firmer throwback, as this is a throwback to his final race that he ran for Spire Motorsports at Dover Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And you know what?
Caden, what else is next week?
Well, hang on. Caden Perkins, he's got 5 laps led. Maybe channeling some of that KFB energy, like I said earlier. He's even, I just noticed this, the KBM sticker on the back bumper. That's a nice touch.
Well, don't forget what next week is, Andrew. Next Friday night, Bowman Gray Stadium, you'll be seeing the Kyle Busch Invitational.
That's right.
They just announced the 51 Legend Car drivers that are eligible for the race, as well as 18 Bandolero drivers, so 51 and 18, 2 numbers that Kyle Busch prominently ran in his racing career. So that's going to be a fun night with the Legend Cars returning to Bowman Gray Stadium. Didn't make the cut, but hey, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I wanted to get out there to that, maybe take some photos or something. I don't think I'll be able to do so, but certainly looking forward to seeing how that race goes. It'll be on Flow Racing. It might be on other coverage. I'm not entirely sure. I just know it'll be on Flow. Battle for the race lead, it is Coulter Clark and Brendan Maddox. A little longer to make your votes for best in show. It's now a tie between Perkins and Maddox. Let's break that. Those of you watching, we'll even go to lap 105 if necessary. Let's get the votes in, as this battle for the race lead is nice to watch, but how about these two? Parent getting ahead of Johnny Wood Jr. for the time being.
You know, Andrew, as we roll through this race, I'm starting to think about the long runners. The guys that we know are really, really good on the long runs. Brendan Maddox has been known to be very competitive over the course of the long run. We're starting to see more of that out of Coulter Clark, and we've known that Josh Parent's been a good of a long run. He's been a good long run driver himself as well. Johnny Wood Jr., you know, this whole top four, they have been good long-run drivers. Dustin Stallings has been a really good long-run driver. He's poked his nose back into the top 10 as well, chasing down Adam Buzzio. So I'm really wondering how these guys are going to shape their race moving forward. Words no do good tonight.
Well, we've just completed 100 laps. You only have 65 more to go to sort out the English troubles. I get it, though. I have those days. Believe me, more often than not. Honestly, it surprises me that I manage to broadcast ever, especially as much as I do, because I fumble over the English language a lot. Regardless, this is a battle that's popping up and important to watch. You know, we mentioned Johnny Wood Jr. getting the spots from the short pit. The problem for him now is he's got the oldest tires on the racetrack. Everybody else is going to have to try and pass him as they bring their tires up to temperature. Perkins gets caught up behind Baumler there. Johnny Wood up the racetrack. His teammate Scott Fritz down underneath him. And this is going to get tight now for this spot.
Perkins about gave the bumper to Johnny right there going into the corner. Up the racetrack goes to 75. Down the racetrack goes to 6, trying to follow Scott Fritz. Perkins has the run, but he had nowhere to go, so he just went to where the run was forming and takes the position over the 75. Now Kyle Clank to the inside. That should be clear off corner exit, and it is up to the wall for the 31 car. Single file racing amongst the 4. 3 non-chasers in the top 10, Caden Perkins and Kyle Clank. 2 of them, and you see them right now on screen fighting with Scott Fritz. Josh Parent, the other one in the mix of the top 10. He's in the 3rd spot. These guys are all chasing that top 3 as Perkins goes to the top side around Fritz. That's going to be a big move out of the 6 car. You might be right. He's channeling that KFB energy tonight.
He really is. He's looking really, really good tonight. Like, he maybe put a little more effort into practicing for this race than potentially any other. I mean, he has got this Atlanta thing figured out currently. Up to the 4th spot. A lot of laps to go, but certainly looking good at the moment. Also, Adam Buzzio. I'm not going to make you turn the gears right now, Zach, but we have the 3 drivers for the championship in line at the moment. Johnny Wood, Adam Buzzio, Dustin Stallings. Buzzio in the middle here. He had that great performance at the end of stage 1, got those 9 points, none for Stallings or for Wood. And I think I figured out why Johnny stayed out when he did at that yellow a little while ago. I think he was getting himself a lap of lead.
Potentially that well, you might be right on that one.
I think that was to get a bonus point there for Johnny. So I think he realized where he was at with the stage and everything, and I think he was just trying to salvage what he could and get himself a bonus point for leading a lap. I'm actually double checking, and yes, one or more laps is a bonus point within this series.
So that would be a bonus point for Stallings then as well, because he led a lap. Did Buzzio lead a lap?
I don't believe so, but we can go ahead and check right here. Laps led on the ticker.
Buzzio's led 2 laps. Okay, so they all get the bonus point. So it all still kind of equates to the math that I listed earlier. Right now, the math as they run, that is 14 points back for Johnny Wood Jr. That is 3 points back for Adam Buzzio. Well, 13 points back for Johnny Wood Jr. 3 points back for Adam Buzzio. And Dustin Stallings still your points leader. 23 points back is Richard Wolsifer. Now, the only other driver that was close enough in contention, that was Ronnie Norman. He was also 56 points back at the start of the stage. He got a couple of stage points as well. I believe he got about 5 stage points, so call that 51 points back.
No, he was 33 back coming into tonight.
Hold on.
Maddox was 56 back. Norman was 33 back.
That's right. I was thinking of Maddox.
Yeah.
So, yes, 33 points back for Ronnie Norman. He got about 5 points in the stage, so that is 28 points. And then he sits 1 point behind, or 1 position behind, so you're looking at 29 points back for Ronnie Norman. So the top 5 are still within reach of each other. Now, the only way, and I'm going to say this now, so that way we can save ourselves a little bit of a headache, the only way that Wolsifer and Norman keep themselves in this championship fight is if Dustin Stallings finishes well behind the both of them. Because if he rolls out of this race more than 30 points in front of both of them, their championship hopes are done. That's it. Because the maximum amount of points that they're going to be able to walk away with at California is 35, if I'm not mistaken.
Frankly, Zach, I leave the point scenarios up to you, and we'll figure it out as we go. I mean,
Oh, I'm consulting Sim Racer Hub as well.
that's fair. Battle here off of turn 2. Kyle Klenk to the outside of Caden Perkins. This is for 5th rather. No, 4th, yeah. Klenk is looking good. I don't know where this run is coming from for him, but the no-name race car number 31 looks really, really good tonight. Just slowly, methodically working his way through the field as he gets there ahead of the 6 car. Scott Fritz now right behind Caden Perkins at a turn 1 this time. And, you know, we talk about milestones as Patinka was in here early. I'm surprised he pitted, actually. He must be going for an extra stop, try to just run all he can with these tires. We talk about the milestone start for Dustin Stallings, making his 100th start in BRB here tonight. Another milestone that was hit this evening is for Brendan Maddox. I told him coming into tonight, he only had to lead some 37 laps to hit 1,000 laps led in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. He's actually just recently passed Isaiah Sutherland, who's got like a third of the starts. So I thought that was fun to poke at Brendan about. But Brendan has now eclipsed 1,000 laps led in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. So as Season 6 comes to a close, a nice little milestone there for Car 23. Even if he's not going to get a championship this time around, going to have to wait a little longer to actually hoist a, I guess, what is the word? Figurative trophy. There we go. Brendan, with the 75 laps led and counting, is now up and over 1,000 for his career.
If we roll through this race, Andrew, I mean, one has to take into account drivers like Coulter Clark running in that second spot. Clark has really started to come into his own as a driver. We've seen him starting to win a lot more races. In the ARN, All-American Racing Network, he has been absolutely dominating their season so far in the ARCA car and in the next gen, or no, it's in the next gen right now. And he's been a lot more competitive. A lot lately. I mean, we saw him running just inside the top 10, top 15 in earlier BRB races, and now he is a regular contender for the win. It's been impressive to see the growth out of the 4 car.
Pit stops getting underway. Richard Wolfer down to the pit lane. He is in for service. This is also on the early side. Only about 30 laps complete for him. And I think these guys are realizing they might be a little bit short because they didn't have the caution to save. You've got to save over this run. I think a lot of sim racers forget that. The caution you have going into the stage is that opportunity to save. So that ultimately buys you some extra laps. You've got to keep that saving going. You've got to be clutching in, lifting early, save all you can. Johnny Wood Jr. also going to be in early. I don't like this for these guys. And if Dustin's able to keep doing 40, 40, 40, he just might be okay. I do not like this early of a stop. This is 50 to go. This is too early.
Nobody is going to be good at the end still.
Yeah, you can't get to the end of the race from here.
I mean, if Dustin continues to do the 40-40 like you're talking about, he just needs to make it to lap 25 going, or 125 going on 126. And he's good to the end.
And any insurance he can get, you know, to 127, 128, that's just extra cash money on top, right? I mean, that's...
Nah, he's not going to make it there.
You never know. Remember, he stayed out longer than these guys. He's got more fuel as Buzzio is in. Fritz is in. Man, this is early. They're going to use all the tires they've got. And if they get... I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. Do they maybe go fuel only to the end in that stop later on? They're only going to need like 10 laps.
So Dustin Stallings went 41 laps in his last stint, and he's 32 laps into his current stint. So he can run, realistically speaking, at least another 8 laps, which would put him well past
127 or 128. Here comes Maddox to the pit lane. This is early, only 35 complete for him. He's going to have to go 46 to the end. Again, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, Coulter Clark 37 laps into his run.
This is a lot of guys, I think, just not being prepared for a long green flag run, even though it seems to always happen at this racetrack, and they're not saving fuel. I hear Clark
Andrew,
shutting the car off now in the corner, but he's pitting.
I don't like to admit it often, but I think you're right here when it comes to strategy.
Oh, and Perkins over the grass, and there goes that KFB energy. He puts it in the wall coming into the pit lane. Admittedly, not much damage, but he's going to have an unsafe pit entry. He's going to have the loss of time, potential damage to the car. Yeah, there went his great run.
That black flag for Caden Perkins right now.
That's that unsafe pit entry. Here comes Parent. This is early. If you pit before lap 125, I don't think you're going to the end. And Parent followed the skid marks of Perkins. Here comes White speeding into the pit lane, I think. Oh my gosh.
It's got to be a speeding penalty for
Yeah,
Parent.
he came in, well, maybe not even Parent, but for White, certainly. He came in at Jamaican bobsled speeds. That was crazy.
Looking at the commitment line, Parent hit it at 52 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's all about the average, though, in that first section of pit lane. By the way,
They
I'm just
slowed
going to
down
go ahead.
to 25.
I keep telling you guys to go ahead and vote for the 6 or 23 and break the tie. It's not happening. I'm just going to end it and see who it puts on top. And that's best in show. And it's like the universe knew, Zach, because while he just botched that pit stop entirely, it will go to Caden Perkins. It's like the universe knew. That's where it belonged.
I believe you're never going to believe this though. Jordan White entered the pit lane at 57 miles an hour. Josh Parent at 52. They both slowed it way down, saved themselves from a speeding penalty. They're both back out on the racetrack.
Wow. Coulter Clark fastest that lap, a 30.024. Again, if you don't get to 125, I don't think you'd make it to the end. We saw Clank pit there. He's on the outer edge. He's on the fringe of making it to the end. I think he might be able to. But staying out this length now, you've got Stallings, Borbell, and Walker. Clank just pitted. I think he might be able to if he's really disciplined on the clutch this next run. Stallings keeps going, Borbell keeps going, Walker keeps going, and Walker has won on fuel strategy before as Clark goes even faster. Walker won Season 4 Indianapolis on fuel strategy. I don't know that he's able to clutch is in. I don't think he fuel strats to a win tonight, but if he can fuel strat to a top 3, a top 5, that would still be pretty large as Dan Stoccaro, he's got those new tires. Dan, hang on to it here. He is scaring Dustin Stallings, certainly, in the wall now for the 27. And there we go. That is the money lap. Borbella is in. He can go to the end from here. These guys can now pit and go to the end like clockwork. There's Borbell. There's Walker. We should see the 00 one of these next couple of laps. He's at 38 complete. He can go a couple more, but with this kind of traffic, I would just go ahead and pit.
Stallings is just getting held up like there's no tomorrow. in the middle line right now, but there it
Sure
is,
enough.
pulling down off the racetrack. Stallings
Right to
makes
pit
it to the
speed.
pit lane.
Right to 50. I guess it's actually 55 pit speed. How about that? Those guys were
Yeah,
fine before as well.
Gives himself a little extra insurance right there.
I thought it was 45 here. I'm surprised to see them going so fast.
So did
regardless.
I also thought it was
ATVO might be a
45.
little inaccurate, to be fair. Here we go. Oh man, look at this. How things have changed at the front. These guys need a caution though. And you can tell, the way they're racing in this little pack, they are not saving gas. But you've got 6 of the best, 6 of the absolute best this series has to offer. Coulter Clark leading the way, Richard Wolfsfer second, Brendan Maddox, Adam Buzzio, Scott Fritz, Johnny Wood Jr., 2 of the top 3 championship drivers in this little fight. Problem is they're stuck. They're on some pretty different tire numbers, Zach. You can see that now. Wolfsfer's got the oldest, then Johnny, then Buzzio and Fritz. Clark and Maddox have the best tires of this group, and they're all just stuck together. Nobody can go anywhere.
Yeah, caution is needed for these guys to keep themselves in contention.
And a caution would absolutely wreck the strategy here for Stallings, as one car was slow there on the apron. Dakota Bly exiting the pit lane, but yeah, it's Perkins coming back in. The bad day gets worse.
Yeah, the KFB energy no longer with him in some ways, as Perkins relegates that car to the pit lane now. This is your 6-car race for the lead, though. Pit stops have really shaken it up. You saw Brendan Maddox, Coulter Clark, Josh Parent. They were all going at it for the race lead. Parent was about 1.2 behind them when they entered the pit lane. There you see him a little bit further back. He's 2.4 off the race lead now of Coulter Clark. Wolfsfer trying the top side, seeing if he can make that work up there. Brendan Maddox up on the top side as well. And as they run, Buzzio in the 4th spot, Stallings 11th. The points lead would return to the 5-car of Adam Buzzio, but it's like you said, Andrew, these guys are not good to the end, so where does that points lead go when Dustin Stallings takes back over?
If he takes back over. Of the drivers that are good to the end, Borbell is actually leading. It's Borbell over Stallings. That one lap Borbell ran was enough to swing the gap and get him ahead of the 00. Behind them, it would be Ronnie Norman. No, he's short. So Gray Walker somewhere back in the distance. And then Dakota Bly even farther. Dakota's actually already 1 lap down. These guys at least are about a half lap behind the leaders. Let's look at this. They are really mixing it up now. I think
a little bit of contact between Buzzio and Maddox.
I mean, if those guys are good to the end, I don't see how this strategy works out for them. For these 6 that are out front. The trip down the pit lane alone, I mean, look at this for Buzzio. It's going to be, even if you take, 6 seconds off of that for fuel only, or even 7 seconds off of that, make it fuel only, you're still spending 30 seconds in the lane. That's just line to line. That is not accounting for your deviation from the racing line in the first place to getting back into the racing line. I mean, that's you're losing like 45 seconds of time, if not more. So sure, they've got 15 seconds for now on Borbell and Stallings. They will lose it all if they do have to make that pit stop. I think they're going to try and run as hard as they can here to at least have all the time they can on those other drivers, and hopefully they catch a caution, I guess, for their sake. But man, what a story of perseverance it could be for Dustin Stallings. It's just, it's one of those feel-good stories. As much as we want the underdog story for either Buzzio or Wood, I went into tonight kind of expecting to hype that up. You've also got the 100th start and an underdog, not an underdog, but a perseverance story, potentially, for Dustin.
It's definitely been a night of attrition for that 00. Working himself to hang on to the points lead. No stage points, again, has really been a hindrance as Cameron Taylor is going to go on by in that 42 car.
By the way, I just looked back at my fantasy picks for the day. We've got Johnny Wood, Brendan Maddox, and Jordan White. I want to say I'm not feeling too bad with these pit stops that are about to happen in about 20 more laps. I don't know. I'd say in the next 20 laps. You definitely don't want to go the whole way, I don't think. I guess it depends if you're actually taking tires here. And they might not be. I do think of these drivers, whoever takes 2 tires is first. Whoever is first in and takes 2 tires of these guys that still have to pit easily will be the winner of that bunch, but you've still got to go to the pit lane.
The pit lane beckons, and the caution flag is what a lot of these guys want to see to keep them in the fight.
Yeah.
Josh Parent has moved up 2 spots. He just passed up Richard Wolsifer and Adam Buzzio for the 5th position.
This right here
on Scott Fritz.
This is the view where they need a little more action. They need Barney to be waving that yellow rag instead of holding the green out like that, just observing. I don't know. There are your race leaders, the 4, the 23, the 75, your top 3. You mentioned Josh Parent getting into this group. He is working here on the 48 of Scott Fritz. I gotta say, this is a great run going for Josh. We don't see him run all that often anymore, but I guess he just had to get back into it with this run here at Legacy Echo Park Speedway, and I can't blame them. Anytime you see this track pop up on a league schedule, it's like, oh boy, we're gonna have some throwback style racing. And I do think maybe there is a world with NASCAR leaving the throwback weekend at Darlington, just not really doing it anymore. If Wilkesboro doesn't continue to have a point state down the line, I do think that's going to have to shift, and I think leagues may start to use this racetrack for that purpose. Otherwise, I think Rockingham is a great option, and certainly Wilkesboro, if you're a league, you can make that your throwback. But yeah, I think this is a great throwback opportunity down the road for some of these leagues to use.
I think Martinsville should be a throwback race.
I mean, I don't disagree. That could be cool if NASCAR had like a 10-year plan of swapping between some of the sport's most historic racetracks. Martinsville will certainly have to be on that list. Wilkesboro, Darlington.
Martinsville's the oldest track on the NASCAR schedule.
Well, no.
Yes.
I'm going to introduce you to a rectangle in Speedway, Indiana.
No. When I say the oldest track on the NASCAR schedule, I mean on the NASCAR schedule.
Yes, I get that. Here we go, pit stops. The 6.5 cars come in. There's only 3 of them, despite their name. Johnny Wood Jr., Richard Wolsifer, and Scott Fritz all in for service. And it's 2 tires, it looks like, each for these guys. Or are they going for 4? 4 for Johnny.
Johnny's going for 4.
That's bold. He'll fall right behind these guys. I just don't know if the benefit in 20 laps is going to outweigh the penalty of that. We'll see. It took Adam some work to get the spot he did in that stage, and he had 4 versus Richards 2. As here is Adam in the pit lane. He is joined currently by Evan Patinko.
Well, the short pit seems to be the way to go now. They have to respond to these guys that are gonna be in a fresher position than they are.
It's, there's the saying, 6 to 1.5 dozen the other. Also, darned if you do, darned if you don't. Typically with a different word beginning with D. Regardless, you really, I like to say, my mother taught me this one. 6 to 1.5 dozen the other. Piece that together, 6 to 1/2 dozen. It's 6 either way. It doesn't matter if you pit now or pit later. It could end up the same way, but there's significantly different risk factors. You come in now, you're risking a caution, putting you behind the 8 ball. You wait and don't get the caution, you could potentially get passed up by all these guys who are pitting now. I mean, you just gotta weigh. It's like the lesser of 2 evils. That's a great saying for it too. I mean, do you want to take this route and potentially have this happen? Do you want to take this other route and potentially have this happen? Until it pans out, you really don't know what the best move is. At least we're seeing guys try some different things, all kind of put their own bets on themselves. I like that, and this racetrack always brings it out.
Well, truthfully, now the bets have been laid. If the caution comes out, all those guys that decided to go to the pit lane are going to be in a really, really tough spot. The only person that's going to benefit right now would be Fritz being the first car 1 lap down. And with 20 laps to go coming to the line, it's going to be hard to try and dig yourself out of this one. I mean, you're caught.
The only driver who might be able to spoil what we've been talking about is Kyle Clank, because we've kind of got things figured out for the guys who pitted early and the guys who pitted late. But somewhere right on that fringe was Clank in that last run. He has now run 22 laps. For comparison to Borbell, who we consider to be good to the end, he has now run 19 laps. There is a pretty big difference, and actually it might be about, I think it's about to be 20. Yeah, it will now be 20 laps. So a 2-lap difference between Borbell and Clank in their strategy. He does have, I will say, Zach, a significant gap back to Borbell. We're talking 19 seconds as Josh Parent takes over the race lead on this run. 19 seconds from Clank back to Borbell, as Borbell and Stallings have both laid back on this run, saving what they've got. And if you look at where the other drivers are compared to them, we're talking only about 8 seconds for Fritz to catch up to Stallings. I think Borbell and Stallings are saving too much right now, which I didn't think was going to happen.
Well, you never know.
So the extra stop may still work. Every time, this happens a lot. Every time we think we've got something figured out, these drivers have a trick up their sleeves. And I guess that's the point, right? Because they're trying to deceive others on their strategy and be the ones to win. So frankly, I guess that is the point of their strategy moves, but man, this is going to be a nail-biter to the end. Johnny Wood Jr., there he is off of turn 4. 15-ish laps to go. It's really 17 as there go the leaders across the stripe. This is going to be a hell of a nail-biter. We still need these top 3 to pit. Clank may be good. He could be the one to spoil this entire thing if he's good on fuel. I don't know if he is, though.
He's slow down the backstretch. Pulled over for Johnny Wood Jr.
We will do driver of the day. We're going to delay that as long as we can, given the circumstance.
Well, Josh Parent still continues to lead over Coulter Clark and Brendan Maddox. Johnny is about to go get his lap back the hard way, which is going to benefit these guys that have already pitted. So Scott Fritz will still be the free pass once Johnny gets his lap back.
Yeah, if those guys who we thought were good on fuel lose too much time, which now it's looking like they did, they're only 3 seconds up on Johnny. That's tied off of 4. I think this may be Johnny's race to lose all of a sudden. Clank is the oddball. Johnny Wood in the back bumper. Oh, he tips Josh Parent. A massive accident off of turn number 2. Josh is destroyed. Oh, and Richard Wolsifer. What a miss.
I don't even know what to say.
We were right overhead as it happened. Johnny Wood just got barely to the back bumper of Josh as he got free and just overcorrected, slammed into the outside wall, and wow! Oh my gosh. Richard Wolsifer, what a miss there. Johnny just rolls up, maybe packing air on the 22. That's what got him loose in the first place, and just barely taps him, and Josh just overcorrects straight to the outside wall, then comes down the racetrack, not holding the brakes, and wow, I mean, Richard Wolsifer has got to be counting his lucky stars that he isn't seeing stars. Check this out. And he's packed right up behind the 5 of Buzzio. And of course, this is going to have massive implications at the end of the race. We're just going to have to get to that in a second. Oh my gosh.
Woo!
That was close. So everything we've been talking about for the last 100 laps or so, out the window. And here we go. Pit stops for Coulter Clark. And everybody who stayed out to this point is suddenly the genius. That's Clark. That's Maddox. Johnny Wood suddenly has a bunch of damage. I think his championship run may have just gone up in smoke. And that's the ironic part of this. He's the one that taps Josh Parent. And I think he just doomed himself. I mean, he's, I guess, going to try and get the waiver out here. He's immediately going to have to serve a drive-through. I mean, he unequivocally caused that caution. Right?
I'm still at a loss.
I mean, there's no doubt, right?
So. Waiting for the call by Race Control on this one, but...
Well, while this all sorts out, Dustin Stallings has stayed out. I mean, he didn't really have a choice. He doesn't have any more sets. He's on 26-lap-old tires. I mean, if this becomes a game of cautions to the end, he might be able to salvage a decent finish. Certainly will not win this race. Coulter Clark going to have 4, along with Maddox, Clank, Borbell, and White, and Walker even. I mean, those are the drivers now to watch for the win. Zach, who we got? Driver of the day. We may as well go ahead and get it out of the way.
I'm still at a loss here, but I think for my first pick for driver of the day, I'm going to have to go with Dustin Stallings. The attrition has just been insane out of this guy to stay in this race. And then pick number 2, honestly, Kyle Clank. He's done a really good job so far this race, and he has been a contender for the race win coming towards the end.
Great options, I gotta say. I mean, look, these picks would have been completely different if not for this caution. Seeing how this has gone, I can't pass up the guy who's led 80 laps tonight, Brendan Maddox. With this restart, anything is possible. I've got to give him a nod, and I'm stuck between these 3, Borbell, Walker, and White. Just for the fact that Gray Walker is coming off of not even racing last week, I'm going to give him a nod. We'll put Gray Walker in there and see how this driver of the day vote goes. Here we go. Into the restart zone this time. Driver of the day vote is live over on YouTube. 11 laps to go in the Sim Wrap Market 250. Anything can happen now. Green flag, old tires in the 00, new tires for most of the rest of the field. Let's see what happens. Down the backstretch, Stallings down low on old. Everybody else around him on new. And then you've got that bunch of guys who is in who knows what situation, getting caught that lap down to try to get back on the lead lap. Maddox up the racetrack. Clark is clear. Borbell works the outside.
Well, Andrew, as we roll to the end of this race and 10 laps to go, it's going to be a 2-car race for the championship because Johnny Wood Jr. has been disqualified.
Disqualified?
Disqualified by Race Control.
That is his second caution for cause. Because he came down in turn 2, he got loose in turn 2 when Fritz was exiting the pit lane and tail whipped Fritz. That was his first caution of cause. That's the second. Wow. That's insane.
So now it's a 2-car race. Adam Buzzio and Dustin Stallings. Stallings has put himself up into the 6th spot. Buzzio in the top 10. Right now, as they run, the points gap would be about 10 points between Stallings and Buzzio. Oh, Maddox up into Borbell. There's contact for the 2nd spot.
A door bang there. Oh, in the wall. Borbell, Maddox crashing down the front straightaway. There's the caution. And everything is about to come to a head in this series. It always seems to ramp up at the championship. That's just how it goes.
I don't even know what to say there either.
There's history.
That was egregious.
I don't know. I genuinely think that began as just a racing incident. Let's go back and see. This is into turn 3. Maddox sent it from way back. He did door bang the heck out of the 2, and then down the front stretch. I don't think this was intentional. Well, I mean, Borbell pinched him, and Maddox was trying to run his line. I think this is just 2 guys being really aggressive at the end of the race. I don't think there was malintent to start this off. I think Steven then tried to kind of say, hey, you know, screw me, no screw you, and I mean, it's the end of the race. This stuff happens. I don't know. This absolutely is unfortunate for a couple of guys that put together a really nice couple of strategy calls for what all ended up happening. Saw the contact there again. Maddox into Borbell, and then Borbell squeezed, and Maddox technically comes back up. And I'm sure, as it's going to be called by race control, it's going to be the 23 getting the caution. But there's a lot more to that.
That takes 2 cars out of contention for the win now.
Yeah, this is suddenly Clark, White, Clank, maybe Stallings, maybe Walker, maybe Fritz for the win.
There goes my pick for win.
Yeah, I mean, my pick just got disqualified, and then another one of my picks is in this crash. I guess I'm just relying on Jordan White to get any fantasy points today. This is... wow.
Well, you're reminding me to take a look at my picks.
And yeah, I'm actually glad I see some of the YouTube comments agreeing. I don't think this was necessarily malicious by nature on either part. I think Brendan was just trying really hard in 3. And then I think Borbell was, again, saying, you know, to heck with me, no, to heck with you, and squeezed him back down. And that's just when Brendan happened to come back up. And
how about this?
I know they're going to internalize it and get very upset, as race car drivers do, Zach, but I don't think that had too many negative connotations. What you got?
I'm the only one that picked Kyle Clank.
Well, 3rd place.
Race control making their decision, and Stephen Borbell has been handed the penalty for the incident between himself and Brendan Maddox. Race control's description was that the 2 pinched the 23 down, and that is what caused the incident there off of turn number 4. So the 23 and the 2 lining up on the outside row here. Not too many laps left in this one, Andrew. It is going to come down to the wire. These guys are going to need to just be on top of everything.
Here we go. Coulter Clark, Jordan White, Kyle Clank, Dustin Stallings is up here. Scott Fritz in the conversation. Gray Walker, Ronnie Norman, Adam Buzzio, Richard Wolsifer, Stephen Borbell. Your top 10 as they enter the restart zone. 4 laps to go. Green flag. Contact there. White and Clank. Up through the gears. Here comes Fritz.
There comes Ronnie
There
Norman.
goes Wolsifer.
Throwing around.
Into
Maddox
Maddox.
into the inside wall.
They catch it. They keep rolling.
Maddox has major upside damage.
Kyle Clank, can he get it done tonight? Cody Dorsey in YouTube chat called it like an hour and a half ago that Clank was going to win. Maybe it was Rafferty. I don't know. Let me scroll back through. Oh, no. It was Rafferty saying Cole Lewis, and then Cody Dorsey came in and said Kyle Clank. Are we going to have a Kyle Clank win 2.5 laps? And maybe up in smoke now for the 31. He loses that spot off of turn 2. Jordan White to the inside. He's going to take over 2nd spot. You know who still has not won in this series, Zach? 2nd place.
Jordan White.
Jordan White. What he would do to win this race.
Coulter Clark faltering a little. 2 laps to go. Coming back to the white. It's a 3-car race for the lead. Clank gets to the back bumper of Jordan.
Here comes the White.
Shoves him through the corner.
And White into the wall. Coming to the white flag. That attempt goes up in smoke. I think it's Coulter Clark's race to lose. What will Clank do from 2nd? Clark leads on the white flag, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Atlanta is known for these crazy, fantastic Atlanta finishes. We had plenty of drama. We have plenty of storylines. We've got a lot to talk about next week at California. It may not be one of those nail-biting finishes to the end as Fritz doors the 83, but it will be a win for the 4-car at Atlanta. Colton Clark wins at Legacy Echo Park in the SimWrap Market 250. Wow. Not a single thing that happened tonight went as I expected. And Stallings is going to get that points lead extended back up from where it was in the stage. He beats Buzzio back to the stripe by about a half second. Incredible. I mean, this league, man, this league. BRB. Wow.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, me either.
All I can tell you is going into next race, the points gap is about 7 points.
I was going to say, inside of 10, it's single digits.
7 points between Buzzio and Stallings. The disqualification's going to hurt Johnny. It's pretty much going to take him out of contention. I mean, looking at the points, there's nothing else that you can say. Richard finished behind Dustin by a considerable number of points. So, I mean, looking at it all, even with Gray Walker, it's...
I'll tell you what, Coulter Clark is going to burn the transmission and maybe the rest of the engine doing this, but his new reverse Polish victory lap, I mean, we've seen him do it before, I believe, in ARN on Sundays, and this is one heck of a new tradition for him, as, look at this, in tandem. He's got Cameron Taylor following him. These two teammates, of course, we saw the issues for Taylor early in this race. He's bump drafting nose to nose. Have you ever?
No, I never.
Dan Stockera, by the way, top 10. Evan Patinko, top 10. Ronnie Norman, 4th. We got a lot to talk about. We go to California next week. We'll let Coulter finish up his celebration and then get ready to talk about a lot here in post-race. And yeah, Coulter's going to go ahead and ditch that car off into the wall. Don't need it now anyways. Already got the win. Season's about to be over. I do really quickly want to go back, actually, and see what happened coming to the stripe between the 48 and 83. I saw the door bang behind, but we didn't quite catch what truly happened there. Here it is into turns 3 and 4. Scott Fritz trying to get that third spot up the racetrack, gets into the 83, and then to the line here, Fritz is about to spin because of that contact with Jourdain. Well, we'll take a look back at your unofficial race results. Just wanted to clear that up as to what happened there in the background, as it's all Coulter Clark back to victory here in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Another one for car 4. And there he is, up on top with the race win. This, by the way, is win number 4 this season for car number 4. Kyle Clank takes 2nd. What a run for him. Jourdain White 3rd. What could have been for either one of them, just a couple of mistakes there getting to the end, and Coulter Clark was as stoic as always. Ronnie Norman, 4th. Scott Fritz, 5th. That's your top 5. Stallings ends up 6th and gets a couple of points back over Adam Buzzio. Extends it back up just enough to have maybe the slightest bit of breathing room into California next week. It's not much. Adam Buzzio right there behind Gray Walker. Evan Patinko, Dan Stockero, your top 10.
Outside the top 10, you'll find Brendan Maddox and Richard Wolsifer after their tussle towards the end of the race. Even Borbell right behind them. Dakota Bly ends up 1 lap down in the 14th spot, with Josh Parent 15 laps down in the 15th spot after what was a really, really great run there at the end that could have actually ended in the race win, but cut short for the 22 car. Kevin Baumler ends up 16th with Cole Lewis right behind him in the 17th position. Cameron Taylor in the 18th spot. Caden Perkins, 42 laps down in 19th, with Carl Puller having an early end to the night in the 20th spot. And then one more car left on the docket. That would be in the 21st position of Johnny Wood Jr. And then, hey, look, Zach Murtis made a somewhat pseudo start in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Didn't even make the green flag, though. Shame on that guy. He had a good shot tonight.
By the way, looking over standings as they're getting posted by series admins, it'll be a 6-point lead for Dustin Stallings into California next week. We very much
Off by 1 point.
have a 2-horse fight. Ronnie Norman, 25, back in 3rd. Richard Wolsifer, 28, back in 4th. Johnny Wood Jr., 32, back in 5th. 6th is Coulter Clark, 33, back. 7th is Gray Walker, 49, back. 8th is Brendan Maddox, 51, back. And from there, at that point, I think it's pretty well negligible for the rest of the field. So again, a whole lot to talk about when we get to California next week. Let's go ahead and bring in the race winner this evening, Coulter Clark. You know, I was thinking to myself earlier today, getting ready for this race, Coulter, you know, Coulter just hasn't quite been the same lately. The last few races in AARN, even the last couple of races that I've seen, at least here in BRB, it's like Coulter just hasn't quite been himself. And here you are, 37 laps led, but 165 later total. You're in victory lane at Atlanta, and I wonder, I very much had no clue how this race was going to end until it did. I wonder how confusing it must have been inside the car.
Oh man, it's such a relief to get that. I've needed that win for quite a while now. But no, so we were gonna stay out as long as we could, pit, and hopefully take only about 9 laps of fuel. And then the caution came out, and it kind of helped us because we knew those 6'5" guys at pit and clearly going to be faster. I know they took right sides, so I would have loved to see how it played out, but I'm also glad the way that this played out, you know. So, whew.
And I mean, this doesn't really do a whole lot for me. It does a lot in points, but you're still really not in the conversation for the championship at California. I guess technically it's possible. So I guess the next question, Coulter, is how much voodoo are you doing in the next week? Are you taking a trip down to New Orleans?
Dustin deserves it, you know. I really think he's going to be the one to get it. I know he had a bad race today, but he still capitalized off of it and got a 5th place after, you know, accidentally taking a tire set when he didn't want to. So I don't know. It'd take a lot. It'd take computer problems for people to not show up for that to happen. But, you know, we got 4 wins on this season, so there's not much more I can ask for.
Yeah, leading the series in the win column now. What kind of fight do you expect versus... I know you're humble in saying Dustin should win the championship, but it's you and him for the win total next week.
I don't know. You'll have to tune into Pit Stop TV next week and see.
The deflection, I like it. Coulter, congratulations. A solid night for you. Playing kind of second fiddle there for the first half of the race, but came into your own later on. Congrats, it's another solid run in that 4-car.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
Coulter Clark, another win here on Pit Stop TV. I mean, he's racking them up. I think he's close to a dozen now this year. Regardless, Coulter with another W. They're stacking up for him. And Zach, another driver who is going to be a lot of fun to talk to, I think. How about Kyle Clank? A couple laps led, ends up second.
Oh,
Kyle definitely is one driver that I was expecting to do good tonight, and you did not disappoint. What a job to get that car up into the second spot and give yourself a shot at this win. How you feeling?
Feeling
about
good, but
second spot, dude?
I'm feeling good about second spot. Although I don't know if I can get tired of second yet, because I think this is actually my second place finish. But it's another one where I had a chance at the win with some fresh tires, and I just couldn't pull it off. I feel like this is a theme where I can get lucky, because I mean the car. I got to be honest there. The caution got lucky. I got lucky with the caution, which put me into a good spot there, and then yeah, just couldn't put it away with the restart. Coulter was just really good on the bottom, and then I also had Jourdain, who's put up a good fight and holding me back a little bit. So I was hoping that he would maybe push the issue and get a little bent out of shape with the 4, and I could back into one. But we had a clean race, and I hope it looked good on TV.
Oh, it definitely looked good on TV. And one thing I got to figure out, what is something that could have been done differently to allow you to walk away with this race win? I mean, you were one of the faster cars at the end. It just seemed to have gotten away from you on the restart.
I needed Coulter to make a mistake. Just couldn't. The top wasn't going to do it at the end there, I don't think. He was just much better than me at the bottom, and I could not run the bottom on fresh tires. My car was just a little too sketchy when I got down there, so I had to stay a good lane up, and it just didn't seem like I had the speed. Like I could get to him in the draft, but even if I was able to get to his right rear corner panel, I still think he would have pulled away because he was able to dive that corner just much harder than I was.
Well, you certainly brought it to them, those chase drivers up at the front of the field, and you playing spoiler for the rest of them. So congratulations on your second place finish. One spot shy of a win, but you put up a good fight tonight. Hopefully we'll see you put up another good fight next week in California for the season finale.
Thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Kyle Clank, your second place finisher on the night, Andrew, and one driver that, once again, so close to his very first win in the series. He is standing by for the third place finish. Talking to you here.
Yeah, while Kyle Clank might have saved your fantasy team, it was Jordan White saving my fantasy team this evening. Third place, Jordan, for a moment there. Coming to the white flag, I thought maybe, just maybe, you had something for Coulter. What could you have done differently?
I genuinely have no idea. I mean, the plan was when I got into 3 and 4, I went way to the top because I've been practicing to just arc it down. For some reason, it just did not rotate in the center, and it just went up. Even when I lifted in the center, to kind of rotate it. So we got tight, got into the wall. Clank got me back, and that was all she wrote, pretty much.
One more opportunity this season to basically right what happened at Mexico. Do you think you can do it at California?
I mean, we'll see. I'd say Auto Club is a track I kind of love. And I was good there last season. I feel like last season I was in contention to win until there's a little choke job that happened on pit road, which happened today. I got to work on the pit entries, and I practiced a lot here today, so gonna have to work on that going into next week. And you never know, 83 might just win victory lane.
And earlier, this is kind of just a side note that I'm curious about. We saw you and Josh Parent pit in tandem off of turn 4, and it seemed like you guys both were speeding, but apparently neither one of you were. I mean, you carried the speed of the Jamaican bobsled team into the pit lane. I thought you were easily over the limit. How were you not?
Talent.
Fair enough. Jordan, as always, good to talk to you. Congrats on the top 3. I know you really needed this here in your season just to set things right again after what has been a tumultuous summer. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's nice to finish up front in BRB once again. I got a lot of love for this league, and it's fun to come. Even though I haven't raced a lot often lately, I kind of want before ending this season to end it off with a win. So one more opportunity. Let's do all we can.
Fair enough. Jordan White, a lap led here tonight, at least adding to that total and hoping to put a 1 in the win column here soon. Jordan, good to talk to you.
Yep, thank you, Andrew. Also, hi, Zach.
Hi, Jordan. Good job, buddy. Murtis Esports is very proud of you right now.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you, Murtis Esports, and shout out GTN, MX Reps, RevSimShop.com. Yeah, shout out JSR Race World, McKinney Setup Shop, and yeah, everyone have a great rest of y'all's nights.
There you go, Jordan White, the Jamaican sensation, the Jordan train, third place here at Echo Park Speedway. And Zach, it's going to take a while, I guess a week, for us to wrap our minds around what just happened this evening. California next week, 125 laps left in this season to decide the entire campaign. It started back on March 31st at Daytona for the duels, and then we got points racing on April 7th. Here we are, August 18th next week. On 8/18, we go to the site of Kyle Busch's very first NASCAR Cup Series win, back under the lights at California. I'm just saying, there is some wild coincidence happening there, and we better see some Kalabish paint schemes out there. However, it's all going to be for the BRB Sundance Pro Series Season 6 Championship. I don't know. 6 points, it may as well be dead even. All it takes is one stage to go absolutely right for Adam Buzzio, and suddenly frankly, the advantage could flip, let alone just evening them up.
Man, it's shaping up to be one heck of a season finale. These guys are gonna fight for it as much as they possibly can, and I'm here for it. I'm so ready to see how the season is going to unfold. It's been a long road, and now we're here to have some more fun for one more time.
We'll, of course, take a look at what is upcoming for us here at Pit Stop TV, the next handful of broadcasts. Before we do that, I think it's time we go ahead and award a very overdue driver of the day. I don't know that this has happened before for this guy, but Kyle Klenk, driver of the day here at Echo Park Speedway. That is so deserved. So deserved.
I'm glad to see Kyle Klenk get driver of the day. You're right, Andrew. It is very, very much deserved for that 31 car. Honestly, you could take that as a win for him. One spot shy of the race win, but second place in driver of the day. I mean, what more could you ask for? Other than one spot better in finishing.
Yeah, it may as well be a win for Kyle here this evening. Next up for BRB, of course, they go to California next week. In the meantime, we're going to be busy with these next few broadcasts. Iowa Speedway tomorrow night for the Full Send Cup Series. We are hoping to run some Legends at VIR. Stay tuned on that. We'll see. But then Thursday evening, it's out to the road course at Long Beach, a street course even. For the North American Racing League, we'll see the pros on track tomorrow night. I do want to say Full Send, by the way, that's a brand new league to us here at Pit Stop TV. I would recommend tuning in tomorrow night just to see how that race goes. We're still learning those names, but a lot of good names are in there, and I'm excited to see this league evolve on the channel the next handful of weeks and through the fall here of 2026. And then again, Thursday at Long Beach. Sunday, though, we head out to New Hampshire, up north to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the All-American Racing Network Next Gen Cup Series. Should be a lot of fun. I believe NASCAR is at Richmond this week, but then New Hampshire the week after. So just an idea of where that's all going to piece together. And I'm so excited for New Hampshire. That racetrack does not get enough credit in my mind, and with the rescan there, it looks so good now. It should be a lot of fun that Sunday morning. We've got like 3 races at New Hampshire coming up in the next 3 weeks, so yeah, I'm excited, looking forward to it. But Zach, any final thoughts here from Atlanta?
Really, other than the fact of it's been a good run. It was a great race, and it's going to be a little sad that next week is going to be the final BRB broadcast for us, and I think we're getting some really good racing as we come towards the end.
Sure enough, one more left to go this season. Season number 6 coming down to a close. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how it all breaks down. Again, just a wild night here at Atlanta. I still cannot wrap my head around it. A big thank you, of course, to all the partners here with the series: Sundance Pizza, MXWraps.com, Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, CC's Business, and well, that's it on the league side. Of course, we have our own handful here with this graphic: Whiplash SimCams, MX-Wraps.com, ATVO, Murder C Sports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. This has been the SimRap Market 250 at Echo Park Speedway. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening. Again, just a wild one through and through. I can tell you we are set up well for race 18, the final of the season here in BRB. Just one more to go ahead and crown a champion. Is it going to be Dustin Stallings? Is it going to be Adam Buzzio? 1 week until we find out. Make sure to be there.